After going through this video, you will be able to alter an existing table in a database. Now that we have created a table students inside our college database, let us see how we can alter the data of this table. But before this, we need to first understand why we need to alter data. Suppose in our students table, we have added the name of the student incorrectly, which will affect the data. Now it is not possible and feasible at all to create a new table for every incorrect entry we make. So to help us correct the mistakes or to add and alter data in our table, we have an option to alter the data. If you are wondering how, let us have a look at different ways through which we can alter the data in a table. The first way is by adding a new attribute to the table. The second way is by deleting an existing attribute from the table. The third way, we can modify an already existing attribute like changing the data type, constraint, etc. Next, we can change any existing attribute to a new one with a new name. And lastly, we can rename the table itself. So let us take our students table and see how we can alter the data using SQL queries. We will start with the first way, that is adding a new attribute to the table. Let's say we want to add the semester attribute in our table. To do this, the SQL query is easy. We use alter table followed by the name of the table, which in our case is students. Then we write add, then the attribute name, which is semester, followed by data type constraint and a default value like this. Let us run this query. The attribute has been added successfully. To confirm, let us see the detailed description by entering DESC students SQL query. We can see the new attribute here with all the details. Now, let us explore the second way, deleting an attribute from the table. We will delete the semester attribute which we added moments back. And to do this, again, the syntax is simple. We will enter alter table followed by the table name. And as we are deleting the attribute semester, we will use drop followed by the attribute name. Let us run this query. And the attribute has been dropped. To confirm, we will check the detailed description. So, by now you have seen two SQL queries using which we altered the data of the table. Both the SQL queries are starting with the command alter table. This means that whenever we want to alter the data of any table, the SQL query must start with alter table command. So please make a note of it. Next, let's see how we can modify an already existing data from the table students. Let's say we want to change the default value of number of compartments to 1 from 0. To do this, we will use alter table followed by the table name. As we are modifying the data, we will use modify followed by the attribute name in which we want to make the change, which is again followed by the data type, constraint and updated default value. Now, I won't be executing this query as I want you to execute this and all other queries that we will discuss later in this video on your own. So make sure that after this video, you execute all the queries one by one and observe the output on your own. Next, we will see how we can change the attribute name. Say, for example, we want to change the attribute name number of compartment to compartment. To do this will be our SQL query. Just pause the video and try to understand this SQL query on your own. Again, we started with the alter table command followed by the name of the table. Then we have change as we are changing the name of the attribute followed immediately with the old name of the attribute and then the new name of the attribute, which is then followed by the data type, constraint and default value. And lastly, let's see how we can rename the table. Say we want to change the name of the table from students to students college. To do this, we will enter this SQL query. And if you run this query, you will see that the table name will get changed to students college. So this is how we can change the name of the table. For now, let us revert to the same name of the table, that is students. So this was super fun. We learned different ways to alter the data in a table. Up next is an exercise followed by a quiz. See you soon and all the best.